By the way, you said that, and I don't know if I caught it right, I may have missed it, that you filed like 60,000 um, public records requests in the last, I don't know, 2 months, 6 weeks, 3 months. I don't remember what period of time, but can you tell me how many and over what period of time?
Well, I couldn't give you an exact number because there were so many of them. Beginning the first or second week of March, I made 14,358 requests to more than 600 state and local agencies asking for the personnel files of agency folks who are involved in some form or fashion with the criminal justice system. Either, like for example, I made a bunch of requests to the Department of Revenue for the personnel files of folks who are involved with, for example, chasing down deadbeat dads who would ultimately be a part of the criminal prosecution of people like that. And then in earlier this month, I made 40-some thousand separate requests to most of the law enforcement agencies in Florida. There were 346 law enforcement agencies asking for the IA summaries of their officers. Before that, I made public records requests to all 346 agencies asking for the names and email addresses of all of their officers, because I want these IA summaries. I'm intending to publish free of charge on the internet with access to anybody that wants it, the IA summaries of law enforcement officers in Florida, so that poor minority criminal defendants and their attorneys can actually have a fighting chance.
The 60,000 public records that you recently made, I'd say 60,
give or take.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is maybe 58, maybe 62, just generally in that area, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you filed suit in any of them yet?
No.
Do you intend to file suit, or do you intend to try to negotiate
them? So there were essentially three groups of requests that were made. One was for the non-law enforcement personnel files for non-law enforcement agency folks. I gave my word to some folks that I would not file suit no matter how egregious the responses were in those cases, in the 14,358 requests. And some of the responses were really egregious. Miami, for example, who told me it was going to cost $160,000 and take 12 years to produce the records.
That's all.
And that response was written by an agency attorney, by the way. I gave my word to somebody. Those requests went out during the last week of the legislative session. So they started going out on a Monday. I was in Las Vegas with my wife when those started going out, and I got a phone call from Michael Barfield, who is a very well-known open government advocate and, in my estimation, a brilliant guy. Called me and assured me he was only the messenger, not to be mad at him, but he had been contacted either directly or indirectly by a number of newspaper editors who had been contacted allegedly by members of the state legislature, saying that if I did not immediately withdraw those 14,358 public records requests, that the state legislature was going to pass every single bill that would have served to gut the Public Records Act. So either you withdraw your request or we're going to tear apart the Public Records Act. And my response was, fuck you. That's not going to happen. Then the second set of requests that were made to all 346 law enforcement agencies Most of those actually produced the records. The vast majority of them did. But there are agencies like Bob Galtieri, who's the sheriff in Pinellas County, whose response to my request was that he doesn't have any records that show the names of his deputies. And he doesn't have any records that show their email addresses. Well, that's preposterous. A sheriff says he doesn't know the names of his deputies. Now, that was written by his attorney, and Bob Galtieri is himself an attorney. I haven't filed suit on that. Will I file suit on it? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. Then the third set was the largest one, where I asked for the IA summaries. And some agencies, many agencies, a significant minority, have actually produced records very quickly and with no cost. I have a whole bunch of them who've made all kinds of unlawful payment demands. Many. I would guess that over 90% of the payment demands that have been submitted to me are unlawful. Clearly, egregiously unlawful. Demanding 15 cents a page plus a special service charge, which is just grossly, inherently unlawful. Can't do that, right? It's 15 cents a page or special service charge and the actual cost of duplication. And it doesn't cost 15 cents a page to make copies. And these are electronic records. You shouldn't have to make copies in the first place. And, of course, you couldn't make a copy on a modern copier without first creating a digital image. So they're just grossly unlawful. Am I going to sue any of those people? I don't know. I might. Depends whether they give me the records or not.